Ellie, you're free right now, aren't you? I have a little favor to ask. Hi, Carol. I wouldn't say I'm free exactly. What can I help you with? What? Of course you're free. You're just lounging around at home all day anyway. That's not true. I may be home, but I'm cleaning, doing laundry. I'm keeping up with the housework. Then come over to my place right now. Excuse me? My husband's on a long business trip. I can't handle anything around the house, so you'll come over and take care of me. It's obvious, right? Well, actually, I'm in my last month of pregnancy, and the baby could come at any time. The doctor has told me to stay as relaxed as possible, so it's hard for me to come over right now. What? And what does that have to do with anything? It's only natural for a daughter-in-law to take care of her mother-in-law. Don't use being in your last month of pregnancy as an excuse to slack off. Or is it that you just hate the idea of taking care of me? It's not that I hate it or anything like that. It's just that my health is really unstable right now. If something were to happen, it'd be too late, so I need to stay at home and rest for now. When everything's back to normal, I'll for sure come over. When everything's back to normal? And when exactly is that supposed to be? When the baby's born, you're just going to start saying you're too busy with childcare and whatnot, aren't you? Honestly, the fact that you and David decided to live apart from me in the first place is ridiculous. You're the wife of my eldest son, so it's only natural for you to live with your in-laws. We've discussed this before, haven't we? David expressed that he wasn't keen on living with his parents. I've also gotten used to our current lifestyle, and I believe this setup is best for respecting each other's privacy. Lies! I bet you manipulated him into it. You tricked my poor and innocent son into moving away from me because you wanted to live separately. That's not true. David and I had a proper discussion and made this decision together. No, it's absolutely your fault. I'll never be able to forgive you for snatching my dear son from me. You, a total stranger from who knows where? Some loser raised in a group home? I raised him with so much care and love. So how did things end up like this? How can you say something like that? I've been through a lot before marrying David. Yes, it's true that I grew up in a group home, but that doesn't give you the right to insult me for it. And I'm not a lowlife. I've worked hard and lived my life independently. The baby I'm carrying now is a precious child between David and me. Please understand that saying such things could even harm the baby. Your words don't just hurt me. They're stressing out the baby too. Stress? Who cares? In fact, it's not too late, Why don't you just get rid of that child? It'd make it easier for David to divorce you anyway. Having a child just complicates things with custody and all that mess. What are you talking about? This is unbelievable. Seriously, don't just throw around something as awful as telling me to get rid of my baby like it's no big deal. And I have no intention of divorcing David. We got married because we love each other. Love each other? You've got to be kidding me. David is way out of your league. From the moment he was born, he's been smart and capable of doing anything effortlessly. In elementary school, he was always at the top of his class and highly respected by his teachers. In middle school, he served as student council president and was even featured in the local newspaper. In high school, he ranked among the top in nationwide mock exams and got into a prestigious college. During college, he excelled as a leader in numerous projects and received countless internship offers from various companies. And it doesn't stop there. After entering the workforce, David successfully led one project after another and was entrusted with an overseas assignment at a young age. I can't understand why such an outstanding son would marry someone like you. He should have married a woman from a better family, someone cultured and accomplished. Having you by his side is just absurd. I won't be dictated by you. All I want is to build a happy home together with David, that's all. Are you talking back to your mother-in-law? You're the worst daughter-in-law ever. Your poor upbringing is really showing. I should have never allowed this marriage to happen. Anyway, stop complaining and get over here quickly. Can't you follow what I say? As I've mentioned many times, it's difficult for me to come over on such short notice. I have my own life and schedule too. If you could at least give me advance notice, I could try to adjust things. But right now, I really need you to understand that I'm not feeling well. A lazy pregnant woman complaining, huh? Stop whining and just get here. I'm not lazy, and being pregnant means I have to be cautious about many things. I need to consider not just my own health, but also the baby's well-being before I act. Oh, come on! Is pregnancy really that big of a deal? It's not an illness, so stop being so spoiled. Even so, my doctor has told me to rest. If something happens, it could be serious. Serious? Back in the day, women worked in the fields even while pregnant. I've never heard of a pregnant woman sitting around as much as you. How weak can you possibly be? Carol, that's just too cruel. What's cruel about it? I'm just stating the facts. Even when I was pregnant, I served my husband's family. That's a daughter-in-law's duty, isn't it? I'm not able to make it today. I'd love to help you out, but please understand that today is just not possible. You're alone right now, aren't you? David's not here, and you don't have anyone else to rely on. That's true, but just because I'm alone doesn't mean I can drop everything and rush over. David's overseas on business, and you don't have any parents to rely on either, do you? I guess it's understandable, considering you grew up in a group home. How pitiful! What does that have to do with anything? Right now, I just want to spend some quiet time alone. And what if your condition suddenly worsens while you're alone? You're in your last month of pregnancy. It's a time when anything can happen, and yet you're not thinking at all. If something happens to the baby, could you take responsibility for it? You're right. There are parts of this situation that make me uneasy. I thought so. That's why it's better if I'm by your side, don't you think? If something happens, I can respond immediately, and I'll even take you to the hospital. There's no one out there who cares as much as I do. To be honest, I do feel uneasy being alone, especially lately since the tightness in my stomach has been happening more often. See? It's dangerous to be alone if something goes wrong. If, heaven forbid, you were to lose the baby, David would be heartbroken, and you'd regret it for the rest of your life. I think you're right about that. Then hurry up and come over. I'll be there for you. You'll feel much more at ease. If something happens, will you really help me? And you won't say anything cruel like before? Of course not. Don't worry. I'll take full responsibility and protect both you and the baby. Now you're coming, right? All right. I'll take you up on your offer and come over. Ellie, hurry up and make dinner. I'm starving over here. What? I just made dinner a little while ago. What? That was dinner? Oh, my apologies. I thought it was dog food. How awful. Your cooking is just terrible. It's like leftover scraps. I can't eat this. Make it again immediately. Enough. Ever since I came here 2 days ago, you've done nothing but criticize my housekeeping. I've had enough. I can't take it anymore. I put my heart into making that meal, and hearing you say such things completely kills my motivation to cook. You've only been here for 2 days, right? You're giving up already? When you first arrived, I was taken aback by how messy everything looked. Dust everywhere, and not one window was actually cleaned. And your laundry skills. The way you hung the clothes out to dry was so bad, they didn't dry at all. I've been doing my best with the cleaning and laundry. Your best? And this is the result? And let me talk about your cooking too. Last night's dinner? What was that? The flavor was so bland it was inedible. I thought maybe today would be an improvement, but it's still like animal feed. Feed? Please don't say something so cruel. I'm just stating the facts. Also, the way you wiped the dishes you used was far too sloppy. Water spots were all over them. It was like you didn't even bother. But I really am doing my best. Doing your best is such a convenient excuse, isn't it? If the results don't show, it's meaningless. Even so, I'm putting in the effort. I don't want to hear about your effort. As a daughter-in-law, it's only natural to meet the standards I expect. A daughter-in-law? Does that mean I'm expected to be perfect? Of course! A daughter-in-law is the one who supports the household. If you can't even manage that, you're not fit to be David's wife. How long have you been married now? You need to learn to be more patient. Patient? Do you see me as nothing more than a servant, Carol? To be real, this seems like way too much. And if you have complaints, could you at least say them to my face? We're in the same house, yet you use WhatsApp like we're strangers. You're always holed up in your room. I don't want to see your ugly face, and just hearing your voice makes me nauseous. Do you get it? I can't stand you on a basic physical level. If you dislike me that much, why did you even bother calling me over? I just don't get it. Quiet. Just do as I say. You don't have the right to refuse. Oh, and by the way, I just went to the bathroom and it's a disaster in there. Who on earth could have done that? Oh, that was me. I made a little mess earlier. You're so dramatic. Coming to report that to me? You're such a nitpicky woman. Are you sure you're not overly sensitive? That is not just a little mess. It's not just the toilet. It's all over the floor and walls with no place to even step. What could you have possibly done for it to end up like this? I guess things just came out with a little more force than usual. Stop making a fuss. Just clean it up quickly. How could something like this happen? It almost seems deliberate. Surely you didn't make a mess on purpose so I'd have to clean it, did you? How dare you? What a rude thing to say. But honestly, cleaning up filth suits someone like you. Carol, it's an emergency. Please come to the living room right away. What? Why are you panicking? My water broke. Your water broke? Jesus, how annoying. Just deal with it yourself. You promised to help if something happened. Don't make such a big deal out of something as minor as your water breaking. It's not minor. When your water breaks, you need to get to the hospital immediately. The amniotic fluid cushions and protects the baby, and without it, the risk of infection increases dramatically. Infection risks? Don't exaggerate. Women in the past didn't worry about things like that. That's not true. It's precisely because of modern medical advancements that we now understand how dangerous it is when your water breaks. If the amniotic fluid keeps leaking, the baby could suffocate, and in the worst-case scenario, the baby could die. This isn't just about my body. It's about the baby's life. More importantly, you didn't dirty the floor, did you? If my precious Persian rug got amniotic fluid on it, what are you going to do about it? This is not the time to be worrying about that. The fluid is leaking more and more. If I don't get to the hospital before the baby comes, It'll be truly dangerous. Yeah, you're such a bothersome woman. Just wait there for a moment. I'll come over in a bit. Carol, what are you thinking? I thought you were going to take me to the hospital, but instead, you locked me out and left me outside. Please, let me back inside. At this rate, the baby is really going to come. If your water broke, just give birth outside. You're a group home girl who didn't even get a proper education, so you don't need a hospital, do you? Just give birth like an animal, instinctively. What? I'm not wasting money on some abandoned girl raised in a group home. I don't understand what you're saying. At this rate, the baby's life is in danger. I'm begging you, please, help me. Take me to the hospital. I already told you. It's a waste of money. Why don't you just give birth in the yard? Watching you suffer through labor is going to be quite the show. I'll even watch from the living room and enjoy it. Maybe I'll record a video on my phone while I'm at it. When you pushed me earlier, I think I hurt my leg. I'm starting to lose consciousness. Please, I'm begging you, help me. Oh, this is getting so entertaining. I have to record this and show it to David later. You're really not going to help me, are you? How many times do I have to tell you? Stop being so persistent. You liar. Excuse me? Watch your mouth, you filthy home wrecker. Fine. I'll never rely on you again for the rest of my life. Oh, acting tough, are you? Well, go ahead and struggle through it all on your own. Serves you right. Ellie, how long are you going to ignore me? I've been calling you nonstop since yesterday and you haven't answered once. You haven't even read my messages on WhatsApp. You're so persistent. How many times are you going to try contacting me before you're satisfied? I've received over 200 messages from you since yesterday, and my phone hasn't stopped buzzing. Thanks to that, I barely got any sleep. It's your fault for not replying. Ignoring my messages is so rude. Yesterday, I was in labor. I had no time for that. I gave birth to my child, risking my life. I'd appreciate it if you could understand the situation a little. I've just now calmed down and am resting in the hospital bed. Is there something you need? Who was it that took you yesterday? Suddenly, a fancy car pulled up in front of the house, and these wealthy-looking people got out and whisked you away. What on earth is going on? Explain it to me. Those were my adoptive parents. What? Your adoptive parents? That's right, my adoptive parents. Do you not understand what that means? That's not what I mean. You grew up in a group home, didn't you? There's no way a child raised in a group home would have adoptive parents. What kind of lie are you trying to pull on me? It's true that I lived in a group home until I finished elementary school. But after that, I was taken in by my adoptive parents and raised by them starting in middle school. Is that so? Yes. After I graduated high school and left their home, I didn't keep in touch with them for a while. Why not? Why wouldn't you stay in contact with the parents who raised you? How ungrateful. I was emotionally immature. I had complex feelings about not being their biological child. Of course I was grateful to them, but I couldn't bring myself to fully rely on them. Looking back now, I realize how foolish I was. Then why did they come to pick you up yesterday? You hadn't been in touch with them, right? And showing up in a luxury car no less? What's that all about? I felt like my life was in danger, so I mustered up the courage to call them. They were the only ones I could turn to. What a stubborn woman! Reaching out to adoptive parents you've been distant from just to ask for help? I'm sure they found it to be a huge bother. Getting a sudden call from a daughter they're not even biologically related to must have been a nuisance. I've always regretted leaving their home the way I did, but being able to contact them this time was a big step forward for me. It turned out to be a great opportunity. I don't care. Speaking of which, David also showed up at the same time, didn't he? Don't tell me. Did you contact David too? Yes, I contacted David because it was an emergency. Yesterday just happened to be the day David returned to the country. It was a coincidence that he arrived at the same time, but he came straight to me and I'm grateful for that. Calling your husband like that? How shameless! He's busy overseas and you made him come back just for you? You're such a troublesome wife. Because David was by my side, I was able to face childbirth with peace of mind. I'm really thankful for him. Thanks to that, I gave birth to a healthy baby. So, everything went smoothly then? Yes, the baby was born safe and healthy. Both my father and mother are overjoyed about their first grandchild. I'm really happy. So anyway, what are you planning to do with your adoptive parents from now on? It seems they've always regretted not being able to do more for me. They've said they want to support me in various ways moving forward. Support you? In what ways exactly? Why are you prying so much all of a sudden? It feels like you're trying to sniff out our family's finances, and honestly, it's unpleasant. Well, there's just something I'm curious about. What is it? Just say it outright. If you don't tell me, I won't answer anything either. Actually, I realized something yesterday when I saw your father's face. Could he be Michael Jones, the CEO of M&J Group? The one who's famous for being a billionaire? No way. So you figured it out. I thought as much. Changing your attitude just because of money? How shallow can you be? There's no mistake, is there? Yes, you're correct. He's frequently on TV, so I'm not surprised you recognized him. Of course! He's the head of one of America's leading IT companies. You're very well informed. It's obvious. He's a total celebrity. Why didn't you tell me sooner? If someone so amazing was your parent, you should have said something earlier. You never asked. Besides, you were always looking down on me just because I grew up in a group home. Did I? You called me a lowlife. I don't remember saying anything that harsh, but whatever. Anyway, it's amazing that Mr. Jones is going to support you. This means I can finally become rich too. Ellie, let's get along from now on. I know we've had our differences, but let's put the past behind us and live as a family supporting each other. Don't joke with me. I can't just pretend everything you've done to me never happened. What? But we're family, aren't we? As David's mother and wife, it's only natural for us to get along. I've decided to cut ties with you. I refuse to let you make me suffer any longer. What are you saying? Are you planning to divorce David? Actually, David is with me right now, so I'm passing the phone to him. What? Passing the phone? What's going on all of a sudden? Mom, it's David. Ellie told me everything. Sounds like you've done some terrible things to her and the baby. It's a misunderstanding. David, everything I did was for your sake. That woman isn't suitable for you. I just wanted you to marry someone more worthy. What do you mean for my sake? I've already warned you about this before, haven't I? I thought you'd change a little after that, but it sounds like things have escalated even further recently. What have you been doing while I've been away? I held back for a while, but then I came up with a great idea. A great idea? What are you talking about? Last time, I only did half-hearted things to annoy her, right? So this time, I decided to go all out, push her to the brink, and drive her out of the house. I figured that would wake you up and make you leave her. You despicable wretch! Just because things didn't go your way, you resorted to such horrible actions? Ellie has been putting up with all of this for my sake, knowing how busy I've been. I wanted you to leave that woman from the group home as soon as possible. But things are different now. I had no idea Ellie's father was Mr. Jones, the billionaire CEO. There's no need for a divorce anymore. In fact, I'm completely against it now. Becoming part of Mr. Jones's family is like a dream come true. You're flipping sides so easily, you greedy parasite. We're cutting all ties with you. Just stay away from us from now on. Please, don't say such cruel things. Who do you think raised you to this point? Oh, give me a break. You left all the work, both jobs and housework, to Dad, didn't you? You took advantage of how kind he was and just played around without doing anything yourself. Even though Dad was tired from work, you didn't hesitate to dump all the house chores on him. He's the one who played with me, helped me with my homework, and even came to my school events. You were always wrapped up in yourself, never thinking about me at all. You've never done anything that felt remotely like what a mother should do. But I'm the one who gave birth to you. Giving birth doesn't make you a mother if you didn't raise me. I had my own things to deal with. Busy? You were a stay-at-home wife who didn't even do housework. What could you possibly have been so busy with? Well, you know, social gatherings with friends, trips, spa appointments. Get out of the house now. I don't want to leave. Fine, then we'll move into a luxury condo. What? A luxury condo? Of course, Dad's coming with us too. Wait a second. Do you have any idea how expensive condos are? Where are you even getting that kind of money? Carol, it's Ellie. Have you finally understood the situation? Well, are you saying I've just been disowned by my family? Exactly. You'll leave the house and we'll be moving into a condo. Please don't contact us ever again. A condo? How much is the rent for a place like that? No matter how talented David is, there's no way he has enough money to afford a luxury condo. My adoptive parents offered to help arrange it, wanting to support us in any way they could. I knew it. But isn't David supposed to be working overseas? Do you really want to move into such a big place with only your baby? As David already mentioned, your husband will be living with us as well. And actually, David is set to return to America starting next month. What? David's coming back? His work overseas has been recognized, and he's been promoted to manager. Then let me live with you too. I refuse. Please, I can't handle living alone. It's too lonely. Have you forgotten everything you've done to me? You left a pregnant woman whose water broke outside and locked her out. It's too dangerous to live with someone like that. I promise I won't cause any trouble for you or the baby anymore. Please, I'm begging you, let me live with you. Didn't you say just hearing my voice or seeing my face made you nauseous? I don't feel that way anymore. I was just joking. Please, forgive me. There are some things you just didn't joke about. And besides, I can't live with someone who uses the bathroom so disgustingly. It's too unhygienic. That was intentional. Intentional? I deliberately dumped a bucket of waste all over. I wanted to see how you'd react. That's disgusting. You're absolutely horrible. Now I want to live with you even less. I just can't deal with you on a simple physical level. No way! If my family disowns me, I won't survive. That's not all. When you pushed me outside, I ended up breaking my leg. I'll be pressing charges for assault. Be prepared. You're joking, right? I'd appreciate it if you could reconsider. I don't want to be labeled a criminal. This is all your own doing. Don't be so cold. If anything, this isn't nearly enough punishment. I'll do anything, so please, forgive me. I'm begging you. No way. Goodbye. No, I can't survive on my own. After everything, Carol begged her husband not to divorce her. He had been at her whim for so long, but now he was determined to change things. The two of them divorced. Now, Carol lives all alone in a small, rundown old apartment. She's reportedly behind on rent and constantly gets yelled at by the apartment manager. As for the assault incident, the charges stuck and she was fined. Of course, we also filed for damages and received compensation. Carol tried looking for work to make ends meet, but her selfish personality worked against her. Every time she went to an interview, she was rejected almost immediately. To this day, she remains unemployed. Her savings are already gone, and she's reportedly living in such poverty that she's resorted to rummaging through garbage bins. As for us, our family has successfully moved into our new condo, and we're living a very comfortable life. The place is spacious, with breathtaking views and state-of-the-art amenities. It's truly a dream home. David's father and my adoptive parents are overjoyed about the birth of their first grandchild, and they've been showering our baby with love. David has been incredibly supportive with both parenting and housework, which has been such a big help. Surrounded by our adorable child, my kind husband and loving parents, my days are filled with happiness.
Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, give us a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and leave us a comment down below. It means a lot to us. See you next time!